Welcome everyone to the eMedica AKT Pass Guarantee Orientation for the October 90-day program, October 2024 exam. So really, this is a chance for you to meet the team, understand how does this program work. I'll talk you through how to complete the daily tasks, how to submit your weekly tasks. There's a chance for you to ask any questions from myself and the faculty. So use the chat to get involved. Only myself and the faculty can see the chat, and then we'll pick up any questions from the Q&A. So I remind you of this, and this was in your welcome pack on one side of the progress tracker, that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step. For those of you that haven't received your welcome pack, if you've signed up quite late, for example, don't worry, it'll be with you in the next couple of days, all right? And this is really important because AKT is such a large curriculum. It can seem like a 1,000-mile journey, right? And sometimes something like that can be overwhelming. And taking that first step is really, really important. So well done on joining a structured guided learning program like this and putting your trust in us. But it's important to understand that while the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, and we're going to help break it down so you only need to focus on one step at a time, it's still 1,000 miles long. So there's still a lot of hard work and a long journey ahead of us. Over the next 90 plus days, there's a lot of work that's going to be done. Over 4,500 questions, over 225 hours of learning we're going to get through between now and your exam. But well done on taking that first step, and we'll break it down so you only need to focus on one step at a time, okay? So let's give you a chance to meet the team, and then we'll explain how the program works and then take any questions. So for those that haven't met me before, my name is Mohibur Rahman. I'm a portfolio GP, which means that I'm a GP with multiple roles. So I'm a partner in my own practice. I work as one of the GPs at a secure unit for women with significant mental health illness. I work in community detox, and I've held various other clinical roles over the years. A lot of my work now as medical director of eMedica is in medical education. So as well as developing resources, teaching for eMedica, I consult with people like the Medical Protection Society, help them to develop learning resources. We help create things that will help certain deaneries, help their trainees and their trainers, complete training and so on. I did my own GP training in Neath Port Talbot in South Wales back in 2007. I finished my training and passed my MRCGP with merit. I was given FRCGP back in 2019 for my work in medical education and humanitarian medicine. I've written questions for the prescribing safety assessment that some of you will have done when you were entering foundation. I've also authored various guides and books on MRCGP preparation. I used to be an examiner and invigilator for the GMC. I continue to examine for Liverpool Medical School, and I sit on the NICE GP reference panel, which gives feedback on NICE guidelines that apply to GP before they get published. So for example, just now, the consultation is going through for the finally unified asthma guidelines. So they're finally going to combine the NICE guidelines and the signed BTS guidelines. And so the consultation for that is open now. That guideline should launch at the end of this year. So a chance for you to meet the rest of the team. So Masouda Rahman is on annual leave at the moment, but Masouda is the director of our e-learning at eMedica, and she'll be faculty for the talk courses, webinars, and help to develop a lot of the learning materials that we'll go through throughout the program. And I introduce you to Anna. Anna Greathead is in charge of sort of the WhatsApp group as the main admin from the eMedica perspective. She'll also be faculty for the course and webinars, and is one of the key developers for a lot of our e-learning resources. So I'll hand you over to Anna, who's going to say a few words. I'll come back. Looks like there's an issue with Anna's microphone there. She wasn't muted, so no problem. What Anna generally wants to say, if I think about past orientation programs, is the importance of being consistent in your learning, being organized. So have a folder in your email where you're going to put all the emails that you're going to get every single day between now and the exam. You're going to get an email from us. Okay, have one folder where you store all of that, so that if you need to refer back to something later on, it's easy for you to find it. If you want to go over something, you've got all the links there. All right, commit to the program and stick with it. And it's important that you get your daily tasks done before the next day, because if you fall behind, it gets difficult to catch up and also keep on top of the new work. And as you've joined the 90-day program, there's work every single day between now and the exam. All right. And so, it is an intensive program. So it's really important to be organized, to be consistent, to commit to the program. Okay. And that, we're here to support you throughout the whole process. And then other members of the team that you'll meet once you start. So Dr. Kennedy Umej is our AKT tutor. So Kennedy did this program when he was a trainee. He's been qualified a few years now. He's working as a portfolio GP. He's got various roles. But he continues to be a mentor for this program. So you'll get a link to join the WhatsApp group if you choose to, the day before the program starts. So tomorrow you'll get a link. You'll also get a reminder of that link on the day that we start. Okay. But Kennedy's been through this. He completed this program. He scored 95% overall in the AKT. And so, he knows the work that's needed and how to navigate this. But he'll be there in the WhatsApp group primarily to offer support. So, sometimes you'll have queries. He'll let you try to work it out amongst yourselves first, because that's a part of the learning, is to sort of discuss things. But then, where there's something that you're a bit stuck on, he'll come in and help. Okay. So he will be in the WhatsApp group with you to offer support. Okay. So let me put my screen back on. Okay, so you'll meet Kennedy in the WhatsApp group. And then other members of the team that you might get emails for, or if you've got queries and you call into the office that you might have contact with, because we can't run a program like this, which is very intensive and structured, without a whole team. So, Selina Begum, Tuba Jamil, Jabeda Khatun, Rabia Hussein, Laura Smith, and Rebecca Begum. Okay. So let me explain how the program works. So the 90-day program, you're going to get an email every day between tomorrow, which is not the first day of the program, it's actually the day before, but tomorrow you get like the pre-program email, the welcome email. Okay, but you get an email about 5 o'clock in the morning. And within that email, there'll be links to a question of the day and associated reading. There'll be links to a set of online revision questions to do. If it's a weekday, if it's a weekend, there'll be 2 sets of questions to do. There'll be daily reading tasks for you to complete. Now, all of the work in the daily task section, you must complete before the next email hits, i.e. within 24 hours. But then there are weekly tasks, which will be different from week to week. So some will involve watching videos of workshops that we've had run in the past, maybe focusing on a specific topic, and then there'll be a learning exercise associated with it. Sometimes there'll be some additional questions to do from a different source as part of the weekly task. There might be some RCGP knowledge challenges. There might be some research tasks to help you go have a deep dive into a specific topic as a way to really learn it thoroughly, because it might be a topic that comes up a lot in the exam. Okay, so with the weekly tasks, they'll each have a specific deadline, and I'll show you an example of an email. Okay, Anna has, I'm sure, sent me one into my inbox, so I'll bring that up in a minute and I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. But essentially, start at the top of the email, work your way down, and I'll show you that. But before we get into that, really, really important to track your progress and enjoy the little wins. So, you have your daily progress tracker, which is on the other side of the postcard that has the message about the journey of 1,000 miles. Okay, so on the other side of that is this progress tracker. So, when you've finished all of your tasks from the day 1 email, tick it off. Stick this on a notice board, because, by the time you get here, you think, what, I'm making progress now. It feels satisfying. You put that tick at the end of this one, I'm halfway there. When you get through here, I'm nearly in that final stretch. And then now you're in that last few weeks. But when you tick this last box and then you look back and you see all of this is ticked off, you're going to have a real sense of satisfaction, but you'll also realize I'm ready. Similarly, your curriculum checklist, okay, which looks like this, 36 pages, A5. At the beginning, every single one of these boxes is empty. There's no ticks. There's about 600 topics that we're going to cover throughout the program. Okay, these are all drawn from the RCGP curriculum. But as you finish learning a topic, tick it off. And it's structured through clinical, stats, and admin. Okay, we're not going to cover them in this order. I've put them in alphabetical order for you to make it easy to track. But can see, again, as you tick it off and you see more and more things are ticked and less things are empty, by the time you get to the day before the exam, you're going to look back at this and you see every single thing's ticked. It's going to give you a huge sense of confidence that you're going to know you're prepared. All right. So enjoy those little wins. And then there's a resource page which it's really, really important that you get familiar with this, because already on your resource page, there's links to key resources. But every time there's a live session, including this session, the recording for that live session, once it's processed, which can take from a couple of days to a week, depending how long the session is, like a full day course might take up to a week. Okay, all of that will automatically appear on this link. So there's a link to the resource page. It's this green button at the bottom of every email. Okay, and it automatically gets updated. So again, I'll show you what that looks like, but this is what it looks like within the email. Okay, and so like at the beginning, you'll just have the core resources. After we finish High Yield Webinar 1, which is going to happen about a week into the program, you'll see this appear. When you click this, you'll be able to watch the recording. When you click the download the topic review, you'll be able to download the teaching slides. Similarly, High Yield Webinar 2, after we had the live session, it will pop up. By the end, you'll have all of the live sessions on here. So you'll have High Yield Webinar 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You'll have Stats half-day course on there, Admin half-day course on there, the full-day AKT course, the full-day AKT 200, the High Yield Clinical Grammar 1 and 2. All of that will appear on your resources page. So get familiar with that page. Okay. So let me show you an example of the email and just working through it. Okay. So here's an example of the email that you're going to get tomorrow. Okay. So it'll just remind you of how it's all going to work. You'll have a link to watch the orientation session video. If you want to watch back this video, it doesn't link to anything now because the video doesn't exist, but once it's processed, it will. You'll be able to join the WhatsApp group via this link here. We can't add you to it. You add yourself. Okay. And then there'll be a reminder of the next live session. So High Yield Webinar 1 at the end of July. Okay. And then this is the resource page. So when you click that, you'll need to log in. Once you log in, you see at the beginning, your resource page has just got links to these core resources. But after we've had that High Yield Webinar 1, the video will appear here. After High Yield 2, the video will appear here, and so on until this page will be full of videos, all right, and links to videos, all right? So remember, resource page is at the bottom of every single email, all right? So that's what that one looks like. I'll show you an example of the day 1 email. So this is when we actually start, okay? So the actual program starts on Thursday. And so when you get the email, you basically just work your way through. So there's a welcome exercise, another chance to watch the orientation video or join the WhatsApp group. But essentially, there'll be a question of the day. So you put in whatever email you registered. Please use the same email because we use this email so that we can see which topics you need more support with so we can develop your individual targeted learning plan towards the end of the program. I'm going to remind you, this is our core eMedica email. If you've got any queries, you need any support, this is the email that you use. You email us, okay? But I'm going to use this email. But basically, there's a question of the day. You read the question, you pick your answer, and then whether you get it right or wrong, there's an explanation for you to read, and then a link for you to read up about that topic, okay? So you do that, back to the email. There's going to be a set of questions. Now, I've already logged in, so it's taking me straight there. It'll ask you to log in, okay? So again, put your name. Spelled my own name wrong there. Put the email, your email, okay? I'm putting our work one here for you. And then you'll go through a set of 20 questions, okay? So, again, once you answer the question, read through the explanation, keep going. When you get to the last question, after you answer question 20, it will automatically send us your result. And we will then track your scores from each set of different questions so that we can build a picture of who needs more support for which topic. And then in the last part of the program, you'll each have a different targeted learning plan. Okay, so keep going. Case cards. So it tells you which case cards to read. You've got the physical case cards, which are in your welcome pack. Okay, so you can pull up, they're numbered. If you are doing this and you haven't got them to hand, or you've joined recently and they haven't arrived yet, you can access the digital ones. Okay, so you're going to do 1 and 2 on the first day. So you're going to learn 1 and 2. All right. Keep going. Then you've got your reading links. Okay, so you have to accept this to read them. So you're going to read through and learn about depression and the linked topic, antidepressant drugs. So some days there'll be only one topic because it's longer. Some days there might be 2 short linked topics. Sometimes if they're particularly short, there might be a few more, okay? And then there's a weekly task. Now, all of these you have to get done within 24 hours before the next email hits. But the weekly task, you don't have to rush to do that the same day. Look, the first weekly task, you've got until the 3rd of August. Okay, so it's actually just over a week, or about a week to get that done. Okay, you've already got the second weekly task. Again, you've got your deadline to get those done. All right, so the weekly task, you've got to get done by the deadline, and you click the specific button to submit the weekly task. You put your name, your email, and then you will have downloaded a certificate. You click this to upload that, because when you do our questions, when you get to the last one, we get your scores automatically. The RCGP for external tasks, they won't send us the score. So that's why you download it and send it to us. So again, we can track which topics you need more help with. Okay, so that's the second email. And if I show you another one, here's day 2. Again, same exact system. So now we won't have the links to the orientation video and the WhatsApp group anymore, because you don't need them. You would have already joined if you wanted to. Okay, so you just do your questions. So the question of the day, click that, same process. Okay, put your email, answer the question, do the reading, click the button, go through the questions, all of them, go through your case cards, do your reading. That's your daily tasks done. Okay, then consider these are the same weekly tasks, because we're still within the first week. So you don't have to do those on the first day. You can do them at some point when it fits. You might leave them for the weekend, for example. Okay. Remember, on the weekend, there will be slightly more work. There'll be more reading to do often, and there'll be more question sets. So rather than one set of questions, there'll be 2 sets of questions to get done. Okay. Just a reminder, again, if I show you the email, at the bottom of every email, this is the resource page. Okay. You click that, it will take you to the resource page. So, people often ask, when will I get access to the video? Where can I find the video? And we'll tell you the videos on your resource page will automatically be updated. This is where you find your resource page. Okay. You click that and then you log in and it will take you to the resource page. Okay. Something else, please don't unsubscribe unless you want to leave the program. Okay. Part of good data management, we have to include a link to make it easy for people to unsubscribe if they wish to do so. But if you click this unsubscribe button or this unsubscribe button, you will stop getting emails from us. We won't know you've chosen to unsubscribe. So if you don't get the email, it might be that you've clicked it by mistake. Okay. Sometimes some email providers decide to have a bit of a moment, like Microsoft had a bit of a meltdown last week, right? Okay. And so, people with Hotmail or other Microsoft-owned accounts, they might not have got an email. So you need to contact us if you don't get the email, or if you've unsubscribed by mistake and you want us to add you back or forward it to. If you unsubscribe too many times, your email provider might put a block so that we cannot send you any more emails. Even if we add you back, you just won't receive emails from us, in which case you're going to have to send us a different email. That does make it a bit more difficult to track. So please don't unsubscribe. Please don't click these links unless you genuinely don't want to get any more emails. Okay. So we've gone through how to do the daily tasks. We've gone through, how to submit the weekly tasks. Any questions, please ask them in the Q&A. And Anna's already dealt with a lot of them, and we'll start dealing with the rest. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you with 3 really important keys to success, because some of you might not have questions, and I want to make sure we finish on time by 8:30. And then anyone that has got questions, stay back, and Anna and I will deal with them. So these are really 3 really important keys if you want to be successful in this program. So the first is that mindset matters. Michael Corder said, to succeed, we must first believe that we can. It's really important from today, you have in your mind, I'm going to pass this exam. I know it's hard work, but I'm going to be willing to put that work in, but I can pass this exam, and I will pass this exam because I'm going to put the effort. I'm going to do the work, and I've got the support that I need and the structure that I need. Can you see? We can put all the things together. We can teach you on the hard topics. We can give you tips on exam technique. We can make sure we cover the curriculum. We can't do the work for you. We can motivate you, but you have to have that belief in you first, and then have that motivation to do the work. Because if you start with a negative, or sometimes what's called a fixed mindset, that, oh, this is an impossible exam, or I'm never going to pass this, then, when you get a few questions wrong, your negative emotions feed on that. I knew it. I knew I was not going to pass. This is too hard. I'm never going to do it. Well, guess what? If that's your mindset, you're not going to do it. You set yourself up to fail. Your brain actually shuts down and it's not open to learn. Whereas if you have a growth mindset and you understand that every question I get wrong is an opportunity to learn, it's good that I got this wrong because now I've identified that this is something I need to learn and I've done it before I've got to the day of the exam. And if you recognize that this is a program of learning, and so we're going to do lots of hard questions because by making mistakes and then learning why I got it wrong, whether it's I didn't have the knowledge yet and I'm then going to read up and gain the knowledge, or maybe it was exam technique, you missed a key word and we'll cover that, then what that's going to do is by the time you get to the exam, you will have covered it. You can see if you get a question wrong, see that as an opportunity to learn. Don't worry about your scores. That's not important. What's important is you be consistent, which is the second thing. Make sure you do your daily tasks on time. Now, will that be hard on some days if you've got on call, for example? Yes, it will be. The exam is hard, and this is a really hard program. It's very intense because in 90 days to cover 225 hours plus of learning, it has to be intensive. And it means that you've got to find a way. Now, some of you, that might mean getting up a bit earlier because you might need to do a little bit of work before you go to work. And after a few days, hopefully you'll find your rhythm. On days when you're on call or on your nights, you might have to shift things around a bit. But it doesn't matter what is going on at work. One way or another, you've got to be consistent. You've got to make sure you get your work done on time. Because on the 90-day program especially, if you don't do the work on time, it gets really difficult. It's like I don't know if any of you train or go to the gym. If you miss one session, let's say you go 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you miss the Wednesday, suddenly it becomes really easy to also miss the Friday. Before you know it, you've not gone for a month. Okay. There's days you're tired and you're thinking, oh, I'll just miss it today. You end up missing weeks. So, you've just got to be consistent. Make sure you commit to your daily tasks. And you don't have to do your daily tasks all in one go. Don't think, oh, where will I find an hour and a half, 2 hours to sit down in one go? That's hard. You don't have to. Take your case cards with you. In between patients, you might be able to read that, and that's one thing ticked off. You might do your question of the day first thing in the morning, and then leave your questions and your reading for the evening. Or, you might, some people will do it the other way. I'll do the questions first, because to do 20 questions, including reading the explanations, might take you an hour to do that properly, okay? Then you might think, oh, I'll fit in the reading in between, straight after. If you get the train, for example, you might do it on the way home, all right? Or you take your case cards and read them, when you can. One way or another, you've got to be consistent. Similarly, your weekly tasks, make sure you get them done by the deadline. Don't feel you have to do them on the first day. It can be a bit overwhelming, but don't leave your weekly tasks till the day of the submission. And then suddenly you've got your daily task and you've got to get that done. Try and, find the time, plan ahead. And then finally, focus on the learning, not your scores. We deliberately have lots of hard questions, both on the questions of the day, and our online questions are renowned for being on the harder side because they're a learning tool. By doing hard questions and making mistakes, then learning why I got it wrong, you remember that better. It's done on purpose. It's based on science, okay? So it stimulates your learning. Focus on doing the work, and then you'll pass when you get to the exam because you will have done the work. Don't worry about your scores. Most people will get most of the questions of the day wrong throughout the bulk of the program. Most people won't get really good scores for most of the program. It all comes together right at the end. Can see if you already got everything right, you don't need to be joining a program to learn. You'd be ready to sit the exam tomorrow. You're not. That's why you need a program of learning. Okay. So see getting questions wrong as an opportunity to learn. I adopt a growth mindset. So if you can do these 3 things, have a positive mindset from the beginning, be consistent in doing your work, and focus on your learning, not your scores, then come the exam, you will be prepared and you will pass. Right? And finally, for those that haven't got questions, I remind you again that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step from Lao Tzu. So well done on taking that first step and joining the program. Welcome to the program. Our whole team is, looking forward to working with you and helping you every step of the day. Each day, just focus on that day's task. The next day, this bit. The next day, before you know it, you've climbed the mountain. You're there. You're ready. and you'll be prepared and you'll smash your exam. Okay, so welcome to the program. The whole team's really looking forward to working with you. Thank you for trusting us to help you on this journey. Thank you so much. For those that haven't got any other questions, remember, make sure you've finished all your pre-course learning, the 4 hours of videos in the How to Pass the AKT recording. Okay, that's your pre-course learning. Make sure that that's done by tomorrow, because we start the day after. Okay, so welcome to the program, and I'll see you at the next live session, which is at the end of July. Okay, just over a week away.